What's going on, everybody? So in this video, we are going to be talking about what's going on in the NFT market, some up and coming hot mints, as well as some of the latest updates with the Parallax Genesis. Starting off with the market sentiment, it looks like Ethereum pumped up a little bit. Now it's over 1.7, so this is quite interesting. For some reason, a lot of people are pretty bullish on Ethereum, most likely because of the merge, which is supposed to be an event where people think the price will go up because Ethereum as a coin and a platform is going to be improved. But my personal opinion, I think those kind of news is kind of priced in, and I think that a lot of people are buying Ethereum because the expectation of the news. And again, you have to be careful that some people might dump right before the news, so be very mindful of your entry and exit. I don't really see why Ethereum would go to like 3K, for example. It's really just people speculating, and when things go up really fast, then it's kind of dangerous. But it's been kind of trading sideways for the most part, even though there is a slight pump. Obviously it's in between, 1.6, 1.7, so nothing crazy going on over there. And then when we come to the nonsense top 500 index for NFTs, pretty much just trading sideways once again. Not a lot of new money is moving into space right now. In fact, personally, the NFT scene, especially on Twitter, is a lot more quiet than it was before. But still, again, people are still building projects that still believe in the long-term future of NFTs and Ethereum and like crypto in general. But we going through these periods where sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's not, and that's just what it is. The first project we are going to be talking about is going to be Imaginary Ones. As you know from last week's video, I did talk about Imaginary Ones staking, and it seems like I got some information incorrect, so someone politely on the team reached out to me to kind of share some of the things that I didn't get completely right, and so let's go over it real quick. So in last week's video, we did mention that Imaginary Ones had a new staking mechanic. Because I wasn't able to find much information on their website, on their Twitter page about how the staking mechanic worked, I assumed that they're going to launch a token, but they are not going to launch a token. They are going to be launching staking, which is very similar to nesting, for like Moonbird's nesting, where you lock it up pretty much and then you just level up your Imaginary One to unlock different rewards, right? Now the issue for me is that yes, I didn't get the information correct, and no offense to the team or anything. I know some people on the team and they're all nice people, right? But like when you're going on the Imaginary Ones link tree, there's no mention of how staking works at all. Really, from an outside perspective, how would you even know what's going on? You go on their website, this thing loads, and then there's not too much about staking, right? So it's like nobody really understands what staking is unless you go onto their Medium page that they put out on August 1st, which is not even on their link tree. So my recommendation for them is to make it more clear to people how this all works. Otherwise, nobody's going to know, right? Like I said before, you basically just lock it up and you hold it for an amount of days, and then you get different ranks. And then from there, you're going to get certain rewards, giveaways, whitelists, and claims. The claims could be digital assets. And again, with digital assets, you can create it for very cheaply and then give it to somebody. But the challenge, of course, everybody has a challenge, even including Moonbirds, is like, what can you give that is of value? And a lot of people were complaining that, like Moonbirds are only going to give you stickers and socks or whatever it is, right? And I'm sure you can develop more rewards in the future, but it definitely takes time. And I'm sure a lot of people will want to stake because maybe they believe in the project and they're like, okay, well, I'm going to hold it anyways. I might as well get some kind of reward, right? We don't know what the rewards will be, but hopefully it will be something of value. Now, next project we're going to talk about is going to be the Avium Founders Pass. Now, I actually did meet the Avium team a few months ago. The first time I went to Singapore, I had a long conversation with them, just talking about NFTs, future NFTs, and things like that. And I remember at the time, there wasn't like a whole lot going on. They were still building their project, trying to figure out what's going on. They had like these interesting trailers, but it wasn't really clear on like what they were really offering. And then they recently launched their pass, like a week ago, and the floor is sitting pretty nice at a 0.63. So I was digging into it more, and I was like, okay, well, what is going on, right? Interesting mechanic that they decided to adopt is to do the interview process, right? So I actually did talk for the Parallax. We like basically did hundreds of interviews to get all the people on the whitelist and things like that. And then for Avium, they're also going in that same direction where they are going to tap into the personal connections. These founders passes are really for people that want to be part of the community, not just people who want to flip. And if they curate that experience and they curate who is in the group, then I believe it can be successful, right? So I kind of see like this whole new meta where instead of just like trying to mint as many as possible, but having supply of 1,000 or less is becoming very strong, just because you get to curate your community and have a core community. And if it's a good one, over time it's easier to cultivate that community and grow it and find more people who are like-minded. So there will be some projects where they just put out a teaser, encrypted messaging, and they'll just get like thousands of likes and retweets, right? That's a whole different type of marketing and scenario. But going the interview route, especially if like you're not hitting as hard, is actually very beneficial, because even if you're not like going viral, you can still get a community of 500 or 1,000 people, and that will make your project, and you can build from there. And speaking of like interview process, one of the projects we talked about, Val, has been also doing the interview process as well. They created this entire Greg the Gatekeeper. I'm not even sure if this is a real person or if it's a fictional person. Basically, when somebody gets it, this guy posts, it's like, hey, dear your name, I am delighted to inform you that you have passed the interview, whatever. It was interesting how the metas have changed, right? I remember when I was doing the interview process at the time, it was only really like Gents Croquet Club and then the Parallax, and then there are probably a couple others that were doing like this interview process. And then now it's like putting up a pre-mint website doesn't work as well anymore. Doing a free mint doesn't work as well anymore. And so people are thinking like, okay, well, I think instead of just getting flippers, we have to get a core community together. That will probably be stronger, right? And if you have a core community, people want to join that community, and then it can have the potential to grow. So I can definitely see moving forward for, let's say, the next 1, 2, 3 months, the interview process is going to be pretty heavy in use. So if you are looking to buy into projects and things like that, try to see like how many hours a team is willing to spend on these interviews, because they can ensure the quality of those people. Something interesting that I am basically watching from a marketing perspective. Next project we're going to talk about is going to be Webaverse, and Webaverse is a project that recently just dropped, and I believe it's in the minting process. And this is actually quite cool from a marketing perspective. I think they did a really good job on their website. It's kind of long, but it's like a long form sales letter essentially, if you ever learn copywriting. So it like explains everything you need to know. The whole goal of this website is to get you to mint, right? So there's going to be an auction that's happening 1 day and 13 hours from now, and there's going to be 20,000 supply, 11,000 minted. So there's different, there's like whitelist and allow list, and then like auction is at the end. So auction starts at 0.25 and then goes all the way to 2 ETH. Pretty much what it is they're selling land. It's an open source platform, which is like its unique value proposition, where all this stuff is open, anybody can use it, anybody can build on it. So if you have a piece of land, you can do anything you want, whether it's 2D, 3D, you want to make a game, this and that. So the whole pitch is like, well, if you create this kind of like Oasis type of world like Ready Player One, then you have the freedom and creativity to do anything, right? I would say the danger of that is, what if people just do a bunch of random stuff and then nothing comes from it, right? It's possible that you do so many random things that something hits and it just blows up. That's definitely a possibility. But on the other hand, it's like, if anyone can kind of do anything, it's like, well, what do we do? It's like a blank piece of paper. There's always risk, especially when you're selling land. I really think there has been a real NFT project that really has made land valuable besides speculative value. But it seems like people have been building stuff on this for months. It doesn't look bad, right? It looks pretty cool. I mean, you see people playing the piano, people playing different type of games. I think the issue is like, if you're a serious game developer or you want to build platforms, the only reason why you would want to build on this platform is if you can get an audience easier, right? So you're basically paying for traffic. But if there's nobody playing this thing, or it's quite new and you have to be the first innovator, it could be that you build something nobody wants to use, right? That's definitely a possibility. Another thing to keep in mind is that it's interesting that they would be dropping on MetaDrop. So MetaDrop, if you didn't know, is kind of like a platform where you're able to mint different projects. They help you with the sales, they help you with the copy, they help you with the minting mechanic, and then you just have to put it on there. Then next thing you know, it's on Opensea after you mint, right? It definitely is of value for teams that don't want to focus on that. So like, it's interesting that Metaverse chose to use MetaDrop as their platform rather than using their own website. And I wonder why, right? Because it's kind of like, well, shouldn't you use your own website? Like, why would you pay like a high fee or maybe a percentage of your mint? Kind of speaks to the competency of the team, of like, maybe they're not as strong as marketing. Maybe they're much better at building, but then marketing and narrative is the name of the game. So I would say, like, if you look into this project, yes, there's infinite potential, but at the same time, you have to understand, for anything MMO, anything open world, anything where there's a chicken and egg problem where you have to bring people in to build, and then after they build, people come in and that creates the value because there's demand. It's going to take a very long time for that to actually be of value, and I think the value comes from speculative value. So be very careful of that, because speculation is quite dangerous during a bear market. Things can pump, things can dump as well. It doesn't mean the project is not good. It just means that people may lose confidence, or they may get bored or shuffle their money somewhere else. So I'm not saying it's a bad project. I think it's a cool idea. I'm just saying, for people that want to buy it, understand when you buy it what the risks are when you hold the financial bag, right? All right, next project we're going to talk about is going to be Cray Collections, which is going to be a CloneX project, right? So in a previous video, we talked about this project called Clone Tools. It's basically like a plugin where you're able to take your CloneX and then have it pose in these different positions, right? And so there's another team who created this project called CreaWearables, where they're going to be clothes for CloneX. So I want to bring this up because it's interesting to see that, you definitely have to have some competency and skill to build this type of clothes. I think there's going to be a niche audience of people that want to use this, and then in the future, who knows what the potential will be, right? We've seen, like in the last video, we had that one person do a whole rap music video, right? But what if you were able to take these clothes, put in a rap music video, and everything looks good? It's building up, you know what I mean? Like, these are early days, but it's slowly building up where people have the VR side going on. People can make videos, people got the poses, people got the clothes. Who knows what's next, right? And so early stages for sure, but I'm definitely following what's going along. Now, speaking about the Parallax Genesis NFT real quick, I recently did a live AMA on our Discord channel going through the mind map of the Parallax. So mind map, roadmap, whatever you want to call it, but the future of the Parallax as a media company, as an educational company. So if you want to check it out, link is in the description. We have like pretty in-depth review of everything that we're planning in the future. But long story short, if you're interested in the Parallax, what it really is a media company combined with education. We are going to continue to create content on all platforms, whether it's TikTok, newsletter, website, YouTube, obviously. The whole goal is really to bring like-minded individuals, people that want to connect in the NFT space, from traders, investors, especially builders, people that want to build projects. This is the place for you if you want to connect with other people, get some help, get some advice from me, because I'm in the Discord pretty much every day. So if you want to check that out, check the Parallax NFT. Link is in the description on the Opensea. And if you want to check out the mind map before you do make a decision, check that out as well. And speaking of some up and coming NFTs, we have the Lamborghini NFT, the Epic Road Trip. I guess it's going to be like a 1-year NFT where they're going to give you like a Lambo NFT, and then they're constantly going to give you drops over time. They're saying that, during 1 week of each month, each consecutive, we're going to drop a series of 4 NFTs. The goal is to complete the collection of the 4 NFTs each month. So these are really just collectibles. And I guess people who are fans of Lamborghini, and I guess Lamborghini is getting the foot wet and getting people who want to buy. I'm not really sure what the utility will be. It just says that it will create unique experiences. Honestly, I don't really know, right? We've seen other car companies do NFTs. It never really works that well, but that's something to keep on your radar because Lamborghini is a luxury brand that everybody knows. So, check that out if you're interested. And the next project we're going to talk about is going to be Friday Beers. This is just something I saw on my Discord. It definitely is a degen, more of a degen play. So Friday Beers is a popular Instagram that has 1.7 million followers, and they're getting quite a bit of views and engagement on their page. And it's really just like a meme channel, right? And so they created their own NFT project, probably capitalizing on the attention that they have on Instagram and stuff like that. What is this project exactly? I personally don't know. Art's kind of interesting. Definitely a degen move because there's not really a website and it's just, a pre-mint page. Interesting if you're into the degen stuff, check it out. Maybe it's something, maybe it's not. I don't really know, but just wanted to bring that to your attention. That's everything that we have to cover for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we are going to be dropping some hot videos every single week, and we got some upcoming interviews with some top projects. My name is Patrick Dang, and I will see you in the next one.